So, Prefecture Guards, an original unit in the game, and they've always been really good when it's got this tier 3 lock, but with the mastery line that got added in last season, they are obviously really nice at the moment. I never quite got around to fully doing the unit mastery last season, but now, slightly late, as usual on the Nevo video, we have, and they are absolute beasts. So I thought we'd dive into just a very quick video on them and take a look what the Prefecture Guards are all about. So in terms of the mastery line, it does a couple of things mostly around damage. I mean, there's things that I really like, which the increased slashing AP. They have really high base slashing now, particularly if you have the nodes on the unit tech tree as well. For a tier 3 unit, they really hit hard. And the extra prefecture drill cooldown by another 8 seconds is really nice. Then we're getting increased damage and reduced damage from 3-star units and all pole arm units, which is really nice. A little bit of health recovery, which you get when they're in the cover commander mode. 40 health per second, or 80 essentially if you're in combat. It's a fairly small amount, particularly when you compare it to, like, say, the Men at Arms 3% tick heal that they had, which has actually just been nerfed, but pre-season, and that was obviously much more significant. But it's still, if you're stuck a long way from a supply point or you're just in a little bit of combat, every little helps, and it's certainly not a bad thing. And then they automatically charge into the enemy, which doesn't really seem to do all that much, particularly compared to some of the other stuff in the mastery line. So that really puts their base stats really quite nice. So we've got that base slashing AP of 1,730, which is really decent, particularly when you combine that with the slashing damage and the fact they're getting base increased damage against tier 3 units, and obviously their damage goes up really significantly when they're in prefecture drill mode. I'm currently gone down the middle veterancy line. In all honesty, I didn't even look. So it's obviously just what I had them set on. It's because it's got the double strike, so they can hit 2 soldiers with 1, and kind of in the chaos and melee that is just tier 3 fights, then that probably just seemed quite suitable. In terms of doctrines, we've got a few nice things on these ones, particularly things like the unit damage doctrine, which is nice, not only increased damage to units, but that base 70-point damage increase, which applies to slashing and things as well. The epic sword doctrine for increased slashing, the siege fighter, a little bit of a defense doctrine just to reduce damage and to bump their defenses up a little bit more, and of course just a little bit of extra slashing damage, just in case we didn't quite have enough from the start. Anyway, that's a little quick run through of the unit. Let's just hop into some battles and see what we can do with the Prefecture Guards. So, we kick things off on a little bit of Highlands Ford, the Viking siege map. We've already lost the A and the B point, and we're back onto a bit of a C defense. Now, I'm kind of just trying to watch where the enemy is going to be making their push. We came over here, got a couple of enemy heroes kicking around this supply point. The problem with this supply point is very treppable on here, and I don't really want to go down that siege ladder. Just once you start going down that, you'll have archers below, and it just tends to be a bit of a nightmare in my experience. Anyway, we come back round as the enemy's kind of pushing up. We come up, there's quite a few of them, so we go straight on with drill mode, straight onto cover commander, immediately get ourselves a hero kill, and push into this unit of shields. They've got halberdiers behind, but our active block really is working quite nicely. We also get some enemy prefecture guards pushing in. I don't think they perhaps had the max veterancy line though. And with those hero kills, we're actually able to push through this full unit of shields and into the unit of halberdiers because their hero is dead, and get onto the muskets at the back. We managed to lock the first one down, and the team manages to secure the kill. So we give chase to the second guy, who goes on a little bit of a merry dance, but this is only ever going to really end one way. And when he lands, the prefecture guard auto locks onto him, and he's dead. They are lovely, these prefecture guards. So, I mean, able to almost immediately pick up 40 kills. And a couple of hero kills as well. We do manage to get the lockdown on this longsword. I just didn't have my other CC ability off cooldown, so I couldn't quite secure him in place to get the kill. And I didn't really want to go on a long chase with him, so I just let that one get away. Again, kind of half watching this top tower onto the supply point though, trying to decide if they're going to make a move in. Also kind of half trying to keep an eye on the treb situation, because it's a very trebbable supply point, particularly when you've got heroes like that sticking their heads over the parapet. You know, that's a prime one for them to push into. So even though we know we've got enemies on the top of that tower, I'm kind of umming and ahhing about whether I want to go there, because I don't want to push down that tower. So that's why I'm kind of half watching it, trying to keep an eye on where the enemies are pushing elsewhere in the minimap. We get a bit of a mall looking up down there. I'm trying to decide which way I want to end up going. In the end, I felt like they were starting to push up a bit too much, so decided to come back to the supply point. I actually pushed wide because I felt like if they're going to treb, it's just going to be right into the centre of that point. But with no trebs coming in, I decided, well, we might as well just go and have a little bit of a look, see what's going on down there. And actually, not a lot. They're just pushing with a few peasant units. We could have gone down after the Rattans. I think we could reasonably have taken them. But in my opinion, the problem is, you'll get them and then there'll be something else below. And by the time you take the damage, then you're stuck out in the open. It just didn't feel worth it when we're trying to just hold the sea point. No need to take risks. Talking of which, there is actually no one on the sea point, so we have to make a bit of a leap, but we just get onto the point in time, and we've got the unit on the way. So I felt comfortable engaging the couple of enemy heroes, and we can lock down. We managed to get the actual first hit and lock down on the glaive, go in the Flying Reaper. I actually put my drill mode on because I wanted to make sure we could secure the kill, get that glaive dead, and the last couple of pipe militia. But we actually get some Sons of Fenrir pushing down the stairs. Luckily, we actually had a little bit of drill mode still left on as his poleaxe engages, and the Prefecture Guard munched through that poleaxe and that full stack of Sons of Fenrir, kind of without that much problems. With the mastery line, with a little bit of extra healing they get in combat, they're really quite survivable, this unit, when you consider how much stuff we've now engaged, and they're still holding up really kind of quite well. The enemy longsword comes down to a little bit of a look. This time, we do get him locked down, and we manage to completely wipe him out. That cover commander is just lovely on these Prefecture Guards. This Maul gives us a much better run for our money, really gets me stunned down and I can't get out and get my CC chain in, but thankfully a few little iron caps come through and save the day. But we are starting to now get pressured from the front. You can kind of see me thinking, I don't really want this fight solo, I want a little bit more support. But in the end, it was these mace sergeants coming in that sort of did for me, because I wanted to try and lock them down and pin them on the corner. And we do get quite a few of them, but unfortunately it's not enough. I get myself killed, and there goes the rest of the unit. But still, over 100 kills, and I don't even know how many hero kills. Many. So, next up, we end up on a bit of Hidden City. We've just managed to capture the A point, and we're now putting the pressure on B. We round the corner, we've got enemy shields, enemy halberdiers, but they are no problem for Prefecture Guards. Immediate hero kill, straight in on the drill mode, straight in on the cover commander, and really they just cut through this block of stuff. They are so brutal. They pick up so many kills just cutting through these guys. And with them dead, we can then basically just go straight back on the offensive. We get some enemy pipe militia turning around trying to present to us. We can just charge straight into them. The charge doesn't really do much, but just using it to cover ground at this point. Stick them straight back onto cover commander, using a combination of my hero and the unit to cut through this lot. And then these poor shields, which are being flanked by both directions, just get absolutely slaughtered. And it's amazing how these Prefecture Guards can pick up so many kills so quickly and take sort of what looks like quite a solid defense and just cut it to pieces really in seconds. So, are they a unit worth using? Are they worth doing the mastery line? I think for tier 3, it really is a nice mastery line unit. Well worth using. Once you get onto the tier 4 and tier 5 games, I think there's better units out there, and that's when they start to struggle. But in these opening phases of the seasons, which we get each time a new season is released, the mastery line is well worth having on these Prefecture Guards. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed the unit. If you did, let me know what you think in the comments down below. And I shall see you guys all on the next one.